Hello, it's March 24th, 2023, and there's a quick Phoenix market update. Last time I did one was, I don't know, middle of February. So here's a kind of some of the more recent things that are happening as of today. So we saw, let's see, this is our active, this is our number of homes, this is our inventory, right? Active inventory sitting in, it's the water in the tub. We saw it sort of level off and we're like, oh, okay, is it gonna start increasing? Well, it didn't. Sorry. So for all you buyers that are looking for this to get closer to 20,000 so that you can have some better negotiating power, it is still dwindling. So now we're down to 13,471 when we're looking at these same metrics, where before we were just under 15,000. So why is that? Part of that is because the number of listings going under contract. This is the demand. This is how many people are out there buying homes, putting them under contract and getting them sold eventually. I think 75% of them are closing. So we had a climb. This is in the first of the year, and then we thought, oh, well, all right, we got some changes. We had some rate changes. We got up to like 7 again. I think that gave us a little bit of a stall, but now we're down to like, I don't know, 6.85, something like that, and we're leveling out. And we're still at about 8,500 per week. Or sorry, that's monthly based on the week count. Now let's see. Next is our new listings. This is another reason why we have a dwindling supply. Don't pay attention to that little guy. That's incomplete data, but it does show that, you know, we had some listings go on and then we kind of didn't. They're starting to slow down. I was thinking that this was going to follow this curve as some past other years, but it looks like, I don't know, people are rate locked. Is that what's happening? Nobody's wanting to sell their houses. So a lot of these sales that are happening out there are a lot of new builds, actually. So reducing this number of new listings going on the market. Now, even with that said, the listings canceled per week is dropping. So we started to see a climb. This blue line, this is last year. Rates started to go higher. People weren't able to afford those prices, so they were all on pause. So this is all the contracts that we're just canceling. So never mind, we're not going to sell. This line here is this year, and that's been steadily declining. People are not having to cancel their listings; they're actually holding them on long enough to actually get a contract and sell them. This is percent of closings with seller paid concessions. It still looks like it's going to kind of stabilize. It'll probably stabilize right here at our average, I would say, 40%. Looks like right now, 47.7% of all sales have the seller paying some sort of financial contribution to the buyer in addition to that purchase price, right? So it's on the market for $550. They were able to get it for $540, but then they also gave them $10,000 in concessions. You have to do that math. You have to take that into account when you're pricing your home or when you're budgeting to go buy a home. You know, that's essentially $530,000. It's just they snuck it into that seller concession segment. And then finally, this is our forward looking. This is the Cromford Market Index. So fairly reliable over the years, I think. You know, we started climbing in, we were having a party and wondering when things were going to change, and then they started to change. And then shortly thereafter, we had that lagging, you know, indicator of closed sales that started to drag behind this, which is our price per foot, number of sales, all that stuff. And it followed this line to the bummer time here around Thanksgiving. And now we're in the pink line. So we're cruising back up. And now, you know, if I were to try to look at the most recent normal year, it would be 2019. It's the green line. This was fairly stable. Things were looking good, and then they kind of settled down a little bit, but this was a strong market. It was starting to get competitive in 2019, obviously, and then 2020. Looking good, and then oh, and then kaboom. So anyway, we've been increasing characteristics that support a healthy market, right? Once we see this plateau and start to take a turn, kind of like we did in 2022, then we're gonna have our, you know, this is like turning on your your hazard lights on your car, hit the emergency light so people know that something's coming up. But if it continues to either stabilize and stay flat like this in 2019 or go up, then it's going to be more competition for buyers. It's going to be easier to sell if you're a seller. Now, the good homes are selling, they've got a lot of competition. Stuff that's in lesser condition, or maybe priced too high, those are the ones that are kind of languishing. They're having a hard time on the market. So if you're a buyer, you do have some choice, but if you want top-notch, most premium, you're going to be competing with other people over it. Now, let's talk about interest rates. What do we have here? We finally kind of settled at 6.85. We got to 7.13. That wasn't very nice. I was hoping that we were going to get out of that fairly quickly. Looks like it was. Looks like that was the peak of it. Can we hang around here? Maybe. It'd be nice if we just had some stability. You can see that we were right around 6.5 for the most of the first quarter, and then we have a little spike up. So I don't know. Last thing I heard was that rates made an improvement, even though the Fed raised rates again. Good luck. Have fun tracking that. So if you're a buyer out there, you do have some competition for the good stuff now. But at this point, we've kind of figured out some different ways to manage those interest rates where they're at up in the upper sixes. And for sellers, while it feels comfortable for buyers to purchase a place, and it seems like these rates are decent, now's a great time to get on the market and find those buyers. We are headed into the summer pretty quickly, so if you're planning on waiting a couple months, it gets a little bit quiet throughout the summer, and then you might have a little window in the fall between September, October, and then November, December we get quiet again, and then January it's our normal buying season again. So that's it for now. We'll update you probably end of April, and we'll see how things are looking then.